Hey guys, I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Tiffany,
and we're Sisters
Sisters
of
of
the
the
South.
South.
Hey, we're coming to you tonight bring you a missing persons Monday story. This one's been out in the media for a while, and we feel like we need to get his picture out and a little bit of his story so we can hopefully bring him home safely. Um, this is going to be on Sebastian Rogers, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be throwing some red flags tonight. I'm pretty heated. I'm wearing my Mama Tried shirt tonight because my mama tried to keep me quiet throughout my childhood because she said I run my mouth too much. It didn't
It
work,
didn't work.
guys. It's not working. I don't want to put anybody down on this show, but I have a lot of concerns. So, with that being said, we're going to get started.
And by the way, she's going to do most of the talking.
Yeah, I'm pretty fired up, guys.
Yeah. And everything I think she says. So here
Pretty
we go.
much. Yeah, we are telepathic like that. So I'm sure she will chime in, but I'm pretty riled up. So, with that being said, let's get started. On February 26, 2024, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home in Sumner County, Tennessee, with still no sight of the teenager. The autistic teenager was last seen by his mother and stepfather when he went to bed on the night of February 25th. But when his mother went to wake him up for school the next morning, he was gone, she said. Sebastian is believed to have wandered off in the middle of the night with a flashlight, barefoot and alone. The case sparked a major search in the Sumner County area that stretched thousands of miles and lasted more than a week before officials said they were scaling back the ground search to focus more on the investigation side. Below is a full timeline of what has happened in the case up to date. So here we go, guys. Monday, February 26th, endangered child alert was issued. An endangered child alert was issued at approximately 11:17 a.m. by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI, on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. In the alert, investigators said Sebastian was last seen earlier that day near Stafford Court in Hendersonville, adding that he was wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses.
No shoes.
No shoes, which is odd to me. Sumner County Emergency Management Agency, or EMA, Director Ken Wiedner said 200 people had been dispatched to search for the missing teenager, including multiple canine teams, mounted units, helicopter crews, and drones. The search team covered a nearly 5-mile radius. I can't recall off the top of my head when the last search like this was, Chief Deputy Eric Craddock with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office told News 2. Obviously, this one is exponentially more important, being a child who has autism. On Tuesday, February 27th, Amber Alert goes out. On February 27th, the TBI announced that the endangered child alert had been elevated to an Amber Alert based on the additional investigative information developed during the search. An Amber Alert is issued when there is a reasonable belief by law enforcement that an abduction has occurred and the child is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death, according to the DOJ. Meanwhile, dozens of agencies continued searching for Sebastian and began employing unique tactics such as blasting his favorite song, Eye of the Tiger, which, by the way, guys, I absolutely love that he had that song as his favorite song. I mean, isn't that
Well,
cool?
yeah, my daughter likes to listen to that song before she does a taekwondo tournament. So
Absolutely. I mean,
that's just a
this
fight song.
this came out when I was a kid. So go Sebastian. I mean, he's in touch with who he is. It's not one of those songs that's played today, but it's timeless. So I just love that that's his favorite song. While searching in different areas, they were playing the song to call him out, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office said. At a press conference later that day, authorities urged local residents to check their surveillance cameras and report any possible information that could help lead to Sebastian. On Thursday, February 29th, pond drained, but nothing found. So there was a pond close to their home. And so they just wanted to be sure that he was not there. And so they drained that pond. So kudos to Sumner. Y'all did a great job on
Yeah, I
that.
feel like they're doing a great job searching for him, doing what they need to do.
They really are. Absolutely. As the search entered its fourth day, officials revealed that they had received several tips amid calls for people to check their surveillance cameras, but no confirmed sightings of Sebastian had been found. Emergency Management Agency Director Ken Wiedner added that search and rescue dogs had not been able to pick up a scent. Investigators also drained a pond to the east of Sebastian's home and found nothing. Saturday, March 2nd, reward issued for information. The sheriff's office told News 2 that an anonymous group of business owners in Nashville area had pledged a minimum cash reward of $3,000 for the information that may lead to the finding of the missing teen. The award was raised to $3,500 the following day. Monday, March 4th, search scaled back and parents speak out. After a week of searching, authorities announced that they were scaling back the ground search for Sebastian and transitioning to an investigation. Which, let's be honest, guys, at this point, if they're scaling back and they're just doing an investigation, at that point, they're pretty much thinking they're looking for a body, not for someone who's alive, unfortunately. And they kind of did that early on. So that makes me concerned. What information did they stumble upon during this investigation that made them stop the search? That's my main concern. This does not diminish our commitment to finding Sebastian, Mr. Craddock said during a press conference. This is simply a transitioning from the ground search to the investigative side. He added that there were no leads and no details to indicate that Sebastian is not alive. On the same day, Sebastian's mother spoke to the media for the first time about their child's disappearance, telling WSMV4, "I just want my baby to be okay. I wouldn't wish this on anyone," she added. Okay, so I'm going to. Okay, red flag. If that was my child, I'd have done been on that TV screaming and yelling, looking for my kid.
The first day.
The first day, Katie Proudfoot has literally been MIA during this process. And I'm sure she's going through her own traumatic situation with her son being missing, if she's innocent of any wrongdoing. But man, nothing would stop me from just standing there and crying, just begging for my son to come back, someone to release him, whatever my thought process would be, bring my baby home.
Well, and everyone grieves differently, even losing, not being able to find someone.
Yeah.
And I feel like watching her interview, she is a little on the quieter side.
Yeah.
Which is not excusing it. It's just maybe she was sitting back waiting for authorities to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even
tell her what to do, maybe.
Even if you're an introvert,
that's your baby.
And I'm pretty much
Mama Bear's going to come out no matter what.
Yeah, I can be pretty introverted in a lot of situations, but when it comes to my kids, it's going to be an outer body experience if I can't locate them. I've been in a situation where all three of my kids, I woke up one morning, they weren't in my house, and I flipped out. I couldn't breathe. I had to know where my kids were. So with that being said, yes, everybody does think on and handle things differently, but when it's your child, I'm sorry. I don't understand. I sure wouldn't be waiting 3 or 4 days to come out begging for my child's life at this point. Sebastian's stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, said the family had been on one constant roller coaster ride of helplessness and hopelessness since Sebastian vanished. And I'm going to say, Chris Proudfoot, that should have been the last thing you said, buddy. You should have kept it closed after that, because honestly, all the negative feedback you're getting from here, that's on you, bud. You're attacking women, you're attacking all these people that's trying to help you, and you just keep running your mouth. And so the reason why people are wondering if you're guilty or not is because you keep running your mouth and you have nothing no helpful information at this point. You just keep worrying about what everybody thinks about you. It doesn't matter what people think about you. We just need to bring Sebastian home
Well,
at
yeah,
the
it's
end of the
not
day.
about the parents. I
No,
mean, I feel for them missing their child, but if my child's missing, it's about my child. It's not about what people think about me, which, let's be
I would
honest,
welcome them. Bring it on.
the first
Check
thing
me
they're going
out.
to think is the parents did something.
Yes.
That's always going to be the
It's always going to
first
be the first
thought in
thought
everyone's
process.
mind, the
Yes.
first question, no
Mhm.
matter who it is and what's going on.
And everything that you do is going to be scrutinized and looked at. That is normal. And I would welcome that just to get it out of the way so we could move on with
Let's
bringing him
find my
home.
kid.
Absolutely. The couple has received backlash for not speaking out earlier, to which they say they shouldn't be judged because no one knows what they're going through. I'll agree with you. Not everyone understands what you're going through, but you did ask for the public to help you. And at that point, you've got a lot of armchair detectives that's going to scrutinize and break down every single step that you take. And not just you, but anybody surrounding Sebastian. Rightfully so. The police can't do every single thing. So they maybe, especially if you've asked for help with the public, people are going to break down every scenario and situation. And I would welcome that if I were you, just to get it out of the way so we could bring
Well,
Sebastian
to me,
home.
if I'm innocent, I don't really care.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
whatever, do your thing, judge me, but I need my baby.
Exactly. You don't know. I don't wish you to ever know, they said. Just be kind to people. It's just that simple.
Yeah, well, people aren't kind.
People aren't kind, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but they are loving and kind enough to want to help. And that's the most important thing. So on Thursday, March 7th, landfill in Kentucky was searched. On March 7th, investigators announced that the search had been moved to a landfill in White Plains, Kentucky, where trash was taken from Sebastian's neighborhood in the beach area. Officials called the search of the landfill a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions, and said that there was no specific information indicated evidence related to the search for Sebastian that was there. The search concluded that evening, with authorities later stating that it did not provide any additional clues as to what happened to Sebastian. We will continue to explore all available avenues and resources to bring closure to the case and provide answers to Sebastian's family and loved ones. In an interview with WTVF, Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, revealed his fears for his son, saying that he was not the one to wander off, and due to an experience as a young boy would never go far without shoes on. He decided he wanted to step into a mound of what we thought was dirt. It was fire ants, and since he doesn't like to get his feet in the dirt, he likes to have his shoes on and his socks on, he said. This is Sebastian's childhood experience.
Okay, so autistic children, as most of us know, they like order.
Mm-hmm.
And for that child to not have his shoes on, especially after that experience, where was he going? What was he doing? Was he even walking out of that house? I feel
Right.
like he would have made noise. I need my shoes if somebody
Yes.
was even trying to take him.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're very sensitive to loud noises, circumstances, things like if they're used to walking in their shoes, they're going to get their shoes before they leave. Yes, they're very OCD ish when it comes to certain things. And
absolutely.
especially if he doesn't like walking in wet grass,
And in the dark.
in the dark,
I don't want to be
rocks.
without my shoes in the
Yeah.
dark.
Nope. We've done talked about the shoe thing. I don't go anywhere barefooted, guys. Period.
Especially in the dark where I don't know. If I'm
Yeah.
in my driveway, that's about as far as I go.
Right.
It's concrete.
Right. And, I don't think that it's possible, but maybe sticker burrs. I know we've talked about that in the past, but sticker burrs, if they get in your feet, it's painful and you can't get very far if they're stuck in your feet. So that's a possibility as well. He is in Tennessee.
Yeah, and you can't go very, I mean, you have to stop and pull them out.
Yes, yes, for sure. So, in order for him to do something that's out of the normal, something would have had to happen that he felt like he just couldn't deal with it anymore. Seth added, and Seth is Sebastian's real father. During the interview, he also revealed that a search dog had traced Sebastian's scent to a construction site, but it turned out to be a false alarm. One dog tracked him to a construction area over there, and it just disappeared, and it's confusing. There are missing pieces of the puzzle, and I'm having difficulty solving this, Seth said. Mr. Rogers added that it makes absolutely no sense there's been no trace of him. I'm hoping he's still alive, the father said. This is my main hope right now. On Thursday, March 14th, videos show activity outside the family home. Home security video obtained by WTVF showed two specks of light outside the family's home in the Hendersonville neighborhood around 3:10 a.m. in the middle of the night, where the teenager went missing. Sumner County Sheriff's Chief Deputy Eric Craddock told the news outlet that there are several clips that have come in that investigators are reviewing for more clues. One clip shows a pitch black Stafford Court neighborhood with two lights that appear to be people with flashlights moving toward each other before moving off screen. And I will say, I've watched this video. It's very confusing. I do see a lady up in the far left hand corner. It looks like a lady to me with a ponytail. Some people think it's a hoodie. Some people think it's a ponytail. It looks like a feminine um, person to
Yeah.
me in that video. It does look like three people, but let's be honest, it's dark. You can't really see, and it's really, I mean, you can speculate anything, but it's really hard to really know anything from that video.
Well, yeah, and you're talking about a neighborhood. I mean, I live in a neighborhood. You can't, we've always got people
Moving around.
moving around, doing something. The
Yeah.
crazy cat lady next door out looking for strays. You've always got someone out moving
Yeah.
around.
It was,
I just,
in defense to the people who have speculated, it is in front of their house.
well,
And
yeah.
Chris Proudfoot was not supposed to be home that night, folks. Chris Proudfoot was supposed to be at his work site in his travel trailer a couple hours away during this time. And so you're seeing three people moving around on this video. Again, it's dark. It. I don't know. I almost think the video needs to be striked because there's no way you can shed light on the darkness of that video. I think it's significant to this case, but there's no proof of who's on that video. And unfortunately, that's sad. But maybe they will eventually get some more information on this case that they can put those pieces together, hopefully. But I know a lot of people are speculating and it's kind of gotten out of hand, some of the speculation. So therefore, I'm not going to speculate on that. So on Saturday, March 23rd, new resources joined the search. The United Cajun Navy announced at a briefing in Nashville that they were joining the search effort. The volunteer run organization, which assists with natural disaster recovery and missing person searches, said it was sending a team along with a canine unit to try to find Sebastian. Monday, March 25th, parents speak in a new interview. In two separate interviews on Monday, Sebastian's parents answered questions about the search for him, with his mother saying she had cried on and off for a month. Katie Proudfoot and her husband Sebastian's stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, appeared on Crime Stories with Nancy Grace, in which the host grilled them on their whereabouts the night the teen vanished. Ms. Proudfoot said she was convinced someone must have her son, as there had been no trace of him so far. Meanwhile, Seth Rogers, Sebastian's dad, appeared on News Nation saying he had not given up hope for finding his son. And honestly, Seth at this point has been the voice of reasoning somewhat up to this point. He's just wanting to find his son. He'll put himself out there. He just wants to find his son.
Oh, yeah. He's been the number one person out searching
Yes.
and doing everything he can
Mm-hmm.
to find Sebastian.
Yeah. I will say I did hear a different perspective on this, and it made me think, because Chris Proudfoot has said numerous occasions, hey, the police told us not to be out looking. And I would like to say that if I was in that situation, I would be out on the down low looking. But the other perspective where someone came out and said in the true crime community, listen, the reason why the police don't want them out looking is because if they do stumble upon Sebastian's body, that it would be really hard for the family or the parents or whoever finds him not to touch him, pick him up, be emotional, and maybe contaminate the crime scene, so to speak.
Well, and I understand
And I
that,
get
but it
that.
would be hard for
Yeah.
me to sit at home waiting for someone
Yes.
else to find my child.
Yeah, that would be a very tactical, analytical, and prayerful moment for me before I went out to look for my child, just in case I stumbled upon them. I would have to
And
have a
that's
game
where
plan
I
in my
say
head.
that his mother is like, maybe she's like, okay, I'm going to sit back and let the authorities do their job. And I'm not taking up for her. I have my own opinions about both of them. But I feel like that's where she's saying, okay, they need to do their job. I need to sit at home and wait. I don't think I could do that.
Can I be honest?
Obviously. That's what we're here for.
From what I see from Chris Proudfoot, I don't think he allows her to do anything. I don't even think he allows her to think for herself, guys. I'm sorry. That's the way I see it. I've been in a relationship where if the man said it, you did it. If you thought outside the box, you might get hit. So I'm sorry, red flag. This man has attacked numerous people online trying to locate his son, just throwing things out there, just the what ifs, this and that. And he has attacked them. I'm sorry. What do you think's happening behind closed doors with this man? Do you think he's a loving, kind, generous man? And this is not even his son. And I have I am married to a man who is a stepfather to my children, and I get it. Okay, but I promise you, he would respect me enough as the mother of my three children if something happened to them to let me lead the force to find them.
Absolutely.
He would not step up and speak on my behalf. He might speak, but he wouldn't speak on my behalf as mother of the child or the children. Period. And this man, it just seems as though there's some nefarious stuff going on, and he's either speaking for her or he's speaking uh, just, Katie, shut
Well, and
up
his
and you let me
stories seem to
speak.
change,
Yes.
which bothers me a lot. I mean, I don't understand about keeping your story straight when it comes to trying to
Mm-hmm.
find your stepchild.
Well,
Was it 3 years ago? Was
he
it 3 days ago? We don't
he's
really know.
he's not been very nice about Sebastian. And at this point, it is not your place to speak ugly against this child. We're trying to find him. It doesn't matter what information you have about Sebastian. We're still going to look for him, sir. It does not matter what you know that we don't know. We still want him found and brought home. So you can shove that shit up your ass. Okay. Because ain't nobody listening to you at this point. So there you go. We want Sebastian home. I don't care what you have to say. And you can threaten Seth all you want to, and you can threaten Katie, but you can't threaten me or anybody else looking for him. We ain't scared of you, sir.
Okay, and I feel like this. Anytime your child is missing, all those negative things about, okay, well, he caused trouble in the past, if he did or not, it's going to go out the door and you're going to want to find the child that's missing.
Exactly.
You don't care that one time he pissed you off or had to get a spanking or whatever. You're like, I love my child. I want my child. I don't care
Yeah.
about anything else.
And honestly, if Chris Proudfoot spanked him once, or I may not agree with that, I don't completely agree with that. That doesn't mean he's done something to Sebastian.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. But what what tarnishes my thought process on Chris Proudfoot is the things that he says about him and the things that people have repeated that he has said about Sebastian. And none of that matters, sir. We don't care about your opinion. We just want to find Sebastian. So keep that crap to yourself. Okay. We just want to bring Sebastian home. And then if you decide you don't want him living under your roof at that time, that's fine. Seth will take him and he'll love him and he'll take care of him. Okay. We just want to bring Sebastian home to a loving home, not to one where he's judged and mistreated. Just want to put that out there. Okay. Let me get
Breathe.
back on track. So Seth also spoke of communication issues between himself and the Proudfoots. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, has not given up on the mission to find his son. Earlier this week, he launched an online petition urging the FBI to take over the investigation into Sebastian's disappearance. Rogers has said too much time has passed for this not to be investigated as a criminal case. He's also hired 2 private detectives who have met with law enforcement about the case. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office has continued to say they have not let up in the workings to find Sebastian and that they're leaving no possibilities off the table. I have watched the latest YouTube video with Chris Proudfoot and Seth Rogers, and this was on the PI channel. I sat for over an hour where Chris Rogers called in and attacked these ladies verbally. And he tried mentally to attack these ladies. And yes, they handled it with dignity and grace. But I'm just going to say this: you can shove that shit up your ass, sir. They were pleasant and they gave you grace. You're very fortunate, because I would not have given that to you. And I want to know where the fuck Katie Proudfoot is, because if my man was talking to other women that way, oh no, that wouldn't go over, because all that does is make you look bad, and that could hinder helping to bring Sebastian home. But as you can see, the crime community, the true crime community, they are vested in bringing home Sebastian. Period. They don't care what you have to say. And thank God for that maturity. Thank God that they don't care what you have to say. They're still going to scrutinize you and everyone around Sebastian just to bring him home. I
Well,
was,
in my opinion, if he were not the, let's word this right, kind of man that is not in control of his wife, he would let her do the talking.
yes.
But apparently he's in control, so
Mhm.
she has to sit back and keep her mouth shut.
Mhm. I
I've
would not
never
let
been in
such
that kind of
an
relationship.
angry narcissist speaking on your behalf for your child that he obviously didn't even like or care about. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Someone need that is a red flag right there. Katie Proudfoot, get the fuck out.
Well, and
Okay?
that's something that you've been in. You've been in that kind
Mhm.
of relationship where
Yes.
I haven't. So I don't know how she's feeling, but you do.
Well, I can tell you how she feels. If what I think's happening in that household, she feels useless. But there's one thing that would kept me from feeling useless, is that's if one of my children were missing and that man was trying to speak up for me, that would bring me out of my shell. Listen, I took a many beatings because I wouldn't keep my mouth shut, and I assure you, if it comes to my kids, I wouldn't keep my mouth shut.
Bring it
Let that
on.
be your strength to speak up, Katie. Do not let that man speak on your behalf at all. You need to find your voice, Katie. You need to find your voice so you can find Sebastian. You need
For
to
him.
speak for Sebastian. You carried him for 9 months. Be his light, be his voice.
And that's our job as mothers, is to
Yes.
protect that child. If we don't do it, who else is going to?
Well,
That's our job.
obviously Chris Proudfoot's not going to do it. Okay. Obviously he's not. Sir, you need to step down, quit speaking on Sebastian's behalf and for Katie. Okay. Now, if these two are guilty of doing anything to him, maybe it's planned. Okay. I'm going to hold my opinion on that until we get more information, because now they're saying a picture has come out from North Carolina that they think could possibly be Sebastian. I think it's just a tool to throw people off of what's really going on. That's my opinion. I know that the police are looking into it. It's kind of gotten quiet over in the Rogers Proudfoot side. That's just my opinion. I hope that I'm wrong. I absolutely hope that this is a picture of him from last month and that they can find him and bring him home. But that's just my speculation, that it was just a photo that was thrown out there to throw the police off of the trail. At this point, guys, there's so much drama going on in this case, and it's taking away from Sebastian and finding him. Chris Proudfoot just wants to he wants to run the show. He wants to throw people under the bus. He wants to degrade women. I've seen him. Now, he doesn't talk to Nancy Grace like that because she ain't putting up with it. Okay. He's been very respectful to most of the men, other than Seth Rogers. He's told Seth Rogers to keep his mouth shut. Dude, that is his dad. Okay. I want to hear Seth Rogers talking. I don't want to hear from you anymore. Sit down and shut the fuck up. Okay. I want to hear from the people that really love him and who are really looking for him to bring him home. That's what I want to hear. You need to sit down and shut up and go away unless they're putting you in jail. Shut the fuck up. Okay. That's how I feel about it. Other than that, true crime community, armchair detectives, keep doing your thing. Let's find Sebastian. Let's bring him home. We need to be the light and we need to be the voice for this young man. And if Katie's being abused, we need to help her get her voice too. Period. And at that being said, I hope the next time we have an update and something comes that's positive, that we have an update that Sebastian's been brought home and he's in a loving home that's being cared for. And I would say that would be his father. I don't care what his father has done in the past. His father has proven to me that he's out there looking for his son.
Well, and he's talked about things that have happened to Sebastian and their his mother and stepfather's care that should have never happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Heartbreaking things.
Heartbreaking things.
I
think he finds that significant.
Well, I find it significant.
Yes. And I think that people have judged him, especially Katie Proudfoot has judged him on that. But if it brings Sebastian home, who cares? There's no shame. The victim should never be shamed by what the perpetrator did. Period. We need to quit doing that. If he's the perpetrator or if someone's a perpetrator, they're the ones that need to be ashamed, not the victim. Okay, so Sebastian did nothing wrong. We need to blast the perpetrator's name and we need to make him ashamed. Just go ahead and put his name out there. Let's shine the light on the darkness. Okay. And we need to get the truth out there on the situation, and all of this going on YouTube and talking some shit to these people who have podcasts trying to find Sebastian. That shit needs to stop. Okay. And by the way, Chris Proudfoot, if you hear this, we're not monetized. We're not making a dime. We want to find Sebastian. So sit the fuck down and keep your mouth shut. Don't even go on my channel making no comments because I will come back on you. Okay. Just letting you know, because we want to bring that baby home and we want to show him love. And we want to show him kindness.
And I feel like I would not be worried about those other people. I would be trying to find my son,
yes, exactly.
Not watching YouTube
yes.
to figure out who's talking shit about me.
Exactly. And if he loved Katie, because they're married, I'm assuming there's some love there, he'd want to bring her son home to her so she wouldn't be hurting, right? If she's not a part of this scenario,
it should be breaking his heart.
It should be breaking his heart to watch a mama's heart break that her son's not here. So you know what, Chris Proudfoot, do us all a favor. Sit down, shut up, and let the real people who now care for Sebastian help find a way to bring him home. And that's the only thing I have to say to you, other than, again, sit down and shut the fuck up. Okay?
Amen.
Amen. And with that being said, we're going to close out today. We're praying for Seth Rogers. We're praying for you and your family. And we truly hope that Sebastian's found and he's brought back home to you. And Katie Proudfoot, I'm praying for you in more than one way, for your mama's heart. And I'm also praying that you find your voice, because Chris Proudfoot is so loud that you can't even hear yourself think. So find your voice, start speaking up for Sebastian and help bring him home as well. And Chris Proudfoot, you know what the fuck I think about you. Um, and so I'm going to end with that. I'm pretty fired up, but I'm more fired up about finding Sebastian. And so if you guys know any information, um, just go online and contact the Sumner Police Department. We'll have that information down below in the description box. And again, all the love and good vibes and prayers going up to all of the families. And if there's something nefarious going on, I pray that that will be vindicated and that will be handled.
And it will come to light.
And it'll come to light. So we're going to say hit the like button at the bottom of the screen, subscribe for true crime content every week, which is completely free, guys. It is free, and there's not much free in this world right now. Also, share it with your friends, especially Sebastian's face. Get his sweet face out there. And most importantly,
See the good and stay perfectly perfect.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.